Take a warm seat over there, friends. Don't forget why we're here in crypto. Firstly, you're my friend. Secondly, you're still my friend. Make sure you remember that we are here for number go up. I'd also like to remind you that you're a yummy piece of watermelon. Don't forget, this is Klaus Schwab, the bug eaters. Don't forget the Great Reset. They put the Great Reset for a reason. You think it was just a coincidence? They just spam the media airwaves. Let's put these words, the Great Reset, and then let's tell everybody that they will own nothing and be happy. Not a coincidence. But to do this, we're going to have to watch the bussin' bug eater overlords print money and then tell people it's their own fault for the inflation. Yes, we cheer that on. All right? Fire up, friends. Fire up. Because this money printing is going to keep happening over and over again until that reset. You know, we're waiting for this bull market. We want it to be ignited. But you got to be grounded. You got to understand how the game is going. So while everybody gets distracted by like war and random stuff, all these things get thrown out. And then the smart money comes in and starts quietly buying, and then all the retailers go away. They're like, oh, I can't buy now. What if the stock market crashes? What if housing collapses? What if the Fed does this? What about inflation? What about the war? You want these. These are telltale signs of a bull market. They say the bull market is always climbing the wall of worry. I hope you know that. Don't forget that. When I learned these, I was like, oh my gosh, now that makes so much sense. Why do it make so much sense? It's because I was used to be a perma bear. That's right. When I first came into markets, all I knew was death and destruction because it came in the GFC. That's why if you just come in, it really depends what type of market you come in. You know, when I came in, people warned me about trading. They're like, oh, you better not have a long-only bias. You can lose a lot of money. And I'm like, long-only bias? People get long the stock market? By the way, I'm not making this up. This is my actual reaction at the beginning. I said, what kind of idiot gets long the stock market? Because all I saw was this. Remember, I didn't know how to get historical charts or anything. I'm like, that's all I saw. You see these? Guess what happened? Guess who got his booty clapped and slapped over and over again? And then, by the way, this is 2015. We all thought, the whole world thought China was going to roll over here. I remember there was economic recession. Things had stalled sideways. And then, yeah, here we go again. And then we're like, oh, here comes Donald Trump. Donald Trump election. And it was right here. Bang, and went up anyway. Isn't that wild? It depends what market you come in. That's why in crypto, we all come in the up-only zones, and then we go out. And then some people come in the bear markets, and they have the bear market-only perspective. I came into crypto in a bear market, but I knew that everyone around me was still employed. Everybody was still in the cubicle. I'm like, wait a minute. Why are they still in the cubicle? Oh, that's right. Because they're getting short all the time. You've got to suck it up. You got to take like this 10-year view if you want to make it. You got to DCA, buy under depression. You got to hold. I understand it's not perfect. There is no formula. It's just, it is what it is. We got to roll the dice somewhere. And that's why when the World Economic Forum says they're going to print money and they're going to do the Great Reset, we listen. You know what's funny? People don't even know the Great Reset. I'm telling you so many times, friends. The Great Reset is resetting fiat. Reset fiat. They're just not going to tell us this. Do you understand? Yeah, you understand. That's why you like, subscribe, belly button, all. Appreciate every single one of you. Family-friendly show. Keep your seat very warm, please. Keep your back straight. They're going to reset fiat. They're going to say, hey, give us your old trash, poo-poo, caca currency. We'll give you this bright, shiny new dollar. Now, we know in crypto this is a scam. This is what we call the migration scam. You remember this? I've made videos on this, friends. I've made specific videos on the migration scam. Go to my channel, type in migration. Avoid this type of crypto or you'll lose everything. The migration scam. See, I've already warned you. I've already told you. It's nothing but a migration scam. They just, well, just got to move to a new system. New system's better. Why is it better? Because it's new. You see, it's a scam. It's psyops. I've also got a lovely question here from Hexion. By the way, I just want to say Hexicans are real DeFi believers. Pulsechain's real DeFi. PulseX real DeFi. Look, some of the smartest and best comments, involvement, and community involvement I get is from Pulsechain and Hex community. I really do mean that. I've seen everyone. BSV dudes, they go off the rabbit hole real fast. Like, friends, BSV guys, I promise you, they think there's a civil war that's going to break out. But here's the thing. They've been telling me this every 90 days for the past 3.5 years since it started. So it's very fascinating to see different groups and communities, how they form together, right? Everyone's got their geniuses. Everyone's got their smarty pants. Everyone's also got their paper hands. Mr. Hexican asks, when the number goes up and you pivot out, what are you going to buy? Gold bars? Very good question. Unfortunately, as we all know, can we even trust the gold bars and silver bars out there? Knowing that the US Fed and JP Mosquito have infinite offer shorting them. I don't know how much you can take it to the bank. For portfolio diversification, they say like 5%. But man, I know, friend, I know most of you don't have even 100 grand. I know most people, you're in the 5K, 10K, 15K spectrum. You have absolutely no business in metals. What are metals going to do? 2x? Who cares? You can't do anything. Inflation's just slipping away so fast. Sub-Zero, I'm asking also when price go up. So I'd like to know as well. But you know what's happening. The Great Reset's happening. I've got to remind you again, this happens over a 10-year time frame. And it all comes down to that Fed pivot, right? Fed pivot. See, we're thinking there's no way these are linked. Of course they're linked. It's all linked. We think, friends, they own the media. They do not send counter narratives. One of the biggest epiphanies I ever had, I was having a shower and I was thirsty, right? I'm thinking, that's weird. I'm thirsty in the shower. It was a long day. And I thought to myself, wow, I'm out of shampoo. And I realized, no, I was actually still in the shopping cart, friends, in the boot of the car. So I went out, got shampoo, came back. I heard my phone buzzing. I went back to check my phone, and then I looked at the computer, and I realized something. I actually realized that all the media narratives, they are always the same story. They never push a counter narrative. Have you ever noticed that? Right? Now, funnily enough, I forgot my phone was ringing. I went back to have a shower, and then my phone, it was one of my friends, and then he started snapping at me later on. He said, I've been trying to call you, bro. What happened? And I realized, you know what? I realized, bro, don't you remember the narratives on TV? They're never the same. They're always the same. Do you understand, friends? You're following me now. You got to keep your back straight. How many times I told you to keep your back straight for this one? The narratives are always the same. What a scam is that? Tell me anything in life. Anything in life you come across naturally, you go, oh, is that person good or bad? Is that drink nice or good? Is that restaurant good or bad? Let's read a review. You don't get this on TV. You get one story, one consistent story. That's why all over my channel, you will find code words. We call it the caca. We call them poop coins. We say roca negra, right? Instead of writing FB ice cream, the 3-letter agency, I'll call them the Phoebe. What about the CI Apple, right? You know them. America, the Central Ice Cream Agency. Sometimes I'll call them the Kia. I have to do that. I don't want to spook them, friends. You can't give them two different narratives. It has to be one narrative. So that's why when everything gets put on TV, we have to listen. We're going like, wait a minute, what's the story they're feeding us? I've got to do the opposite. Because it always ends one way. When the US Fed pivots, we crash and then we go up. Why do we eventually go up? It's because we're denominated in US dollars. We're always denominated in US dollars. When I go back and I call my friends, who I did not answer the first time because I got distracted, and I have to explain to them, bro, the market's going up because they're denominated in US dollars. The denominator is getting lower. That's why we're actually printing up. It's a nominal price, but it's not the real price. They have no idea what's going on. They believe I belong in a mental asylum institute, and I'll say, you know what? I probably do, but not for the reasons you think. It's because I've been waiting for green candles for far too long. I say bring on the crypto Ponzi pump. This is a chart of the Fed pivot. Let's squint. You and I are going to squint together. Have you noticed how, look at this, Fed pivots, I know these don't look like much, but look, Fed pivot, we crash. Fed pivot, we crash. Fed pivot, we crash. Fed pivot, we crash. This is 2001, the tech bubble. Fed pivot, we crash. This is the GFC. By the way, the tech bubble got worse because we had 2001, when one of those Kanga towers collapsed. The mysterious one that wasn't hit by a flying moving object, otherwise known as an aero jelly plane. Right, I can't talk about it, friends, by the way. Just let you know, you do get removed off YouTube if you talk about the mysterious Kanga tower that may or may not have collapsed by itself. Right, so you have to find more information about that elsewhere. You notice how there's a pivot every time. Why? It's because The US Fed, they say, well, we can thread the needle by doing interest rates perfectly. And then they do, and then it goes too far, and then they crash. They go, all right, bring on the printers. Let's just put the prices back up so everybody thinks everything gets patched. And we do this over and over again. The stock market, friends, we know this, is not a good enough tool for wealth creation if you want to make it in less than 25 years. Stocks are only going up 7-8% per year compound. That's about a double every 10 years. I want to ask you this. You double your money. Like if you got $5,000, all right, you double it in 10 years, now you got 10. You double it in 10 years, now you got 20. You double it in 30 years again, that extra 10 years, wow. You're up to $40,000. Congratulations. You killed it. Wow. 30 years later, you have $40,000. Congratulations. You'll be able to buy a shoe. And maybe an Apple will come with that too. We know it's all a scam. We know it's all a scam. Now, what do people keep telling you? They'll say, you got to keep DCA buying. We know that, okay? We know that. But you still got to play the game for 30 years. It's not as nice as we believe it is. I just pray that we're going to be on top of the game when this happens. I get asked about this a lot. Fed pivot, stock market crash, crypto crash. And I will reserve my judgment because, look, I'm just guessing. Just guessing here. I think crypto has rinsed enough weak hands such that if the Fed pivots and stocks crash, I feel like it'll be more contained. And half of it, I'm just saying because I hope and I cope. And the other half, I really do believe that because I really do see this bear market, the rinsing, the washing out. I see it as an effective tool to wipe out a lot of the downside volatility as we go back up because it's just part of the cycle. Let's just hope, by the way, that we have a lot of the tools under our belt to traverse this like dangerous treachery path because it is going to be dangerous and treacherous, these dark forests, when this Fed pivot comes. And I'm going to end with nice questions here. Mr. Hex Pump. The Hex Pump, by the way, nice avatar. I like that green in the middle. What causes it to crash when they pivot? So don't forget, the interest rates are lagging because when you plan for the future as a business, you've already locked in your next 12 months. You already know, okay, we've got to buy stuff for, 6 months from now, 12 months from now. When they change rates, that affects your next 12 months decision. But you've already locked it in for this current 12 months. So when they start cutting rates, it's too late because you have spent less money today as a result of the Fed hikes from 12 months ago. You see 2021 down here? That's when you've spent less money today. And guess what? Not only have you spent less money today, all the businesses and consumers around you have done it as well. So that's why we get the crash. Because everybody from 12 months ago has tightened the belt. And now it all, basically the chickens come home to do the backflips and light the candles all together. And the analogy I always use is it's like you're driving a car, you hit the tree, you've already hit the tree. And then the Fed says, oh, let's put the brakes on the car. Doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter. The windshield is destroyed. The car's crashed. It's crumpled. Literally, there's crumpled slippers, crumpled car. Everything is destroyed. And that's why they just go like, you know what? Let's just print money, patch it up, and then we'll figure it out later. And guess what? The US economy is so robust and strong, it actually always does get figured out later. That's a tough part to deal with because it really always does. We always invent something. There was internet getting invented. You had social media stuff. Now you're probably going to have AI. So in the midst of all these crashes, humans are getting more efficient and intelligent. I know it's crazy. It's crazy, friends. I know. It makes no sense sometimes. You're like, wait a minute. So they cheat the system and then it crashes, but then the system is good enough to fix itself. Yes, that's why you don't make money being an economist in this game. Because guess what? Economists, they get they get the economy direction pretty right, but they can't get the stock market right. Why? Because the stock market's pricing in the future. It has all the insiders. The insiders are like, okay, we're going to crash and they're going to print. So I don't want to earn these dollars. So I want to deploy the dollars now. That's why these things are much harder to predict in the short term. But if we take a long-term view, we're going to milk it. Why? Because we know they only got one strategy. Print, print. And when they print money, we print green candles. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, all. I will catch you very soon, friends. Tell mum and dad, we do love printing. Catch you soon.